And then there was four games left in the NFL season. Divisional playoffs preview. Let's go.
We are back, baby. We are fucking back. We're back. We are back.
Hey guys, this is
Welcome everybody back for another episode of the Divisional Weekend. This is Moss Money. This is Money Pot Sports, and we are breaking down all the games on Divisional Weekend. There's some games I don't like, so I'm going to stay away from. But for the most part, we do like a couple of the games. Unfortunately, our birds are out of the tournament, so we still got to give you some good moves to make for this upcoming weekend. Starting with two games next week that we have. I'm sorry. Damn, I need to take a drink. Starting with two games tomorrow, one at 4:30, one at 8 o'clock. Let's bring up the scoreboard on ESPN, and we'll get you some of the games and some of the plays that I like for the game. Let's zoom in just a little bit. That's a little bit. That's a little bit. All right. Our first game. Big game, man, right there in Mile House Stadium. You got the Buffalo Bills coming off a nice win against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which we called correctly. Going to Denver to see if they can keep the Josh Allen miracle train alive. No Mahomes, no Burrow, no Jackson. He's got a clear shot to the Super Bowl. This is his shot because those teams should be in competition next year. Denver has a great home record, 8-1, pretty good defense. But here's the kicker about their defense. They don't do good against dynamic passing attacks. What I mean by dynamic passing attacks, a quarterback who's a little bit mobile, who likes to spread the ball around, they kind of give up a lot of numbers. So just listen to this. Against Trevor Lawrence, they gave up 279 yards and 3 touchdowns. Against Jordan Love, who passes the ball around a lot, they gave up 276 yards and 1 touchdown. Or we can go back to Marcus Mariota. Even though this game went into overtime and he threw 50 times, he still threw for 294 yards and 2 touchdowns. If you go to, that one game, Patrick Mahomes, 276 yards, 1 touchdown. We'll keep going here. I think that's maybe it. No, maybe let's look at the Giants. Giants, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, right? So when you look at the way the Bills are playing right now, they are spreading the ball around a lot. They don't have like a really one go-to wide receiver. Now, Shakira is his kind of go-to guy, but Brandon Cooks has been coming on, and we'll talk about him in a second as well. So, make sure you're looking down at below the language that I'm be using, just so you know how YouTube kind of tried to ban us for how we used to talk before. So had to switch it up a little bit. But I think these shows will be more as memberships when we're talking about how we want to go about looking at the plays of each game for next year. So make sure you become a member. Go to YouTube, hit the join button, jump on the money train. There's some cool, really caveats to those things. You can even come on live with me and on the Victory Monday show to come talk some sports and some Eagles with us. But back to this, I think that's really telling. And I think Josh Allen is starting to heat up. The last 2 games he's thrown 5. He has 5 total touchdowns in the last 2 games. 1 running, 1 passing, 2 running in the last 2 games. And he's also thrown for over 250 yards in each of the last 2 games. I think he hits this number again. I absolutely love this number going over the water in his player passing prop. If you like it just at the normal at going on the wrong game, I think it was like 210, which I think is super low for somebody of his caliber. So yeah, 210. I like the 250. It's plus 249. Oh, Jesus. Because listen to the game flow. Even if he's losing, he's got to pass. Even if they're winning, he's got to pass. I love James Cook. I think he lead the league in rushing. He might have. I think he led the lead in rushing yards. He's. I don't think that they're going to run their way to win this game. I think they win on Allen. I think they win on his arm. And I think he has a really good game. I do like Buffalo in this game. I do have a future bet of Buffalo making no, I'm sorry. I take that back. That was another bet I had that I think lost. But I like Buffalo in this game. I think Buffalo goes to Denver and gets it done. You can even take Buffalo and the Josh Allen as a two-leg multi-game play, or you can just do it one or the other, however you like it. But for this one, that is one play, and then I got a bonus play. We talked about Brandon Cooks, and we talked about how Brandon Cooks has started to kind of come on for them. I think that you can make a good case that Brandon Cooks goes over because I think they'll put what's his name? Surtain on Shakir and have somebody else beat them. So I like the over with Brandon Cooks in his receiving yards, and I like the over on his longest reception. I think 16 and a half is too low for him. The last two games, he's averaged over a 30-yard bomb. I think they take their shots. I think Brandon Cooks has always been a great deep threat. And I think that with Josh Allen's arm, you're going to see that. It wouldn't surprise me if Brandon Cooks have over 100 yards in this game. Like, it wouldn't. Jesus, plus 1,500. Let's just look at that real quick. Let's do this live. How many 100-yard receivers has So they didn't give nothing against the Chargers. The Chiefs, they faced a nobody. Did they give up a 100-yard guy in Jacksonville? They did. They gave up one to Parker Washington in Jacksonville, who's a burner too, right? A deep threat. What about the Packers? They didn't give up one to the Packers. You would think Watson would have been one of those guys. Raiders, not really. What about the Commanders? Zach Ertz, Scary Terry almost had one, but Zach Ertz went over 100 yards. Kelsey had 9 catches for 91 yards. Looks like they had problems with tight ends too. Well, Bowers didn't really do much there. Let's see. What about against the Texans? Schultz had 6 catches for 77 yards. So it looks like tight ends give them a little bit of problems too. What about against the Cowboys? Pickens just had 7 catches, 78 yards. So going all the way back, I'll bring the Giants. Wendell Robinson had 6 catches for 98 yards. Their tight end, Daniel Bellinger, had 3 catches for 88 yards. Yeah, man. So it just kind of goes with what I was saying about taking over that number for Josh Allen. I think he throws for a lot of yards here. I think he throws for over at least 250 yards. I think that's a great play. I mean, shit, even Jalen Hurts had 280 yards against the Denver Broncos. And Smitty had a 100-yard game too. Poof. I think I might throw something on that Shakir over 100 yards. I mean, not Shakir, I'm sorry. Brandon Cooks. That's just wild to me. Brandon Cooks right now is plus 1,500. I said that means that for every unit, you would win $1,500. That's crazy. I like it. I like it. All right. Let's go to game 2 on Saturday. And that will be the San Francisco 49ers going to the Seahawks. I actually don't have anything on this game. the Sam, it's tricky with the divisional games. They're 1-1 in the season this year. They just literally just played them and went 13 and I think it was 13-3. I expect a low scoring game again. Uh, I don't know what to take of Sam Darnold's oblique injury. Like it's kind of weird. I think he had a day off Friday. I'm sorry, a day off Thursday because they didn't want to. He said he felt something tweaking and didn't want to push it. But with quarterbacks, that oblique is everything because you got to be able to torque as you throw and kind of twist. So, because he opens up to throw. So, if it's on his playing side, that could be some issues there for him. But I mean, I think they can run the ball to win this game. Again, San Fran beat the Eagles. It is what it is. But San Fran is also very banged up, very hurt. They just lost George Kittle to an Achilles injury. So it's going to be tough for, I think, San Fran to make this game. But division games are tough. So no play here for me. All right, let's go here. Houston Texans going to New England. Should be cold, should be snowing. Houston going outside. I think a lot of people are on Houston because of that defense, and it makes a lot of sense. That defense is for real. That defense is the best defense in the NFL, and it makes a lot of sense because New England really hasn't played anybody yet. But they're going outside, they're going in the elements, which I don't like for Houston. And Nico Collins is out this game with a concussion, and I think that is super major. The New England Patriots get Gonzalez back. All you got to do is put Gonzalez on Kurt. And what is Houston going to do to score? Right? What is Houston? That's the question. How is Houston going to score against this New England Patriots? I think New England finds a way to score, but how is Houston going to score? And then is Houston really going to win 10 games in a row? They're on a 9-game winning streak. 9 games they've won in a row. So when you put some of these factors in, the limitations of offense that Houston Texans have, because Nico Collins will be out for this game, and then the elements playing into this role. They're not bad on the road. They're 5-3, but this ain't Pittsburgh, right? This is a whole different game. I think that defense will be tough, and they will get after New England. But I just think New England offensively has enough to make this a 2-score game and never look back. So for myself, I like the top contender here of the New England Patriots at home. Let this keep the tick down. If this keeps ticking down, even better. I like both these numbers, to be honest. The total output under the water there, and then I like the top contender by themselves as well. I think they win this game by double digits. I don't think Houston's going to be able to score no more than maybe 10 points, and they might even get there by field goals. I just don't know how Houston's going to move the ball without Nico Collins. That's a huge loss to them. They have zero running game. I mean, defense is going to have to score, in my opinion, to keep this game even close. Let's just look real quick. What is uh, what is CJ Stroud record in cold games, in cold weather? So right now, yeah, he's 0-3 in very cold games. 0-3, only 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. He's faced the Ravens, 27 degrees. He's faced the Chiefs, 30 degrees. Other games were below 35 degrees. All low scoring offense, no more than 10 to 19 points. Yeah. Give me New England, man. I think that's a little too easy. I think that's a little too easy. I know he didn't do good in cold water games. And you lose your yeah. It's gonna be bad. That might be the bet of the week. I might be a layup. That really might be a layup. Like this game really might be like 27-3, 27-10, right? No, 24-16, right? I don't think it's going to be close. I don't know why so many people like the Texans, because I sure enough don't. And possibly the game of the week. A lot of good games this weekend when you think about it. Los Angeles Rams going to Chicago, which is going to be freezing. Line right now is still ticking up to the Rams, would make sense. Chicago's been winning all kinds of late in heroics at the end of the games. And Rams is doing what Rams do. Put up a lot of points. Puka Nakua is crazy. And I need to get, because they're a West Coast team, people need to understand how good Matthew Stafford is in cold weather. Like, people forget Matthew Stafford played Chicago, played the Green Packers twice a year while he was in Detroit. Matthew Stafford will be fine in the cold weather. Actually, I think Matthew Stafford has a crazy game. It wouldn't surprise me Matthew Stafford throws for 300 yards in this game. In the cold. Just because he's Matthew Stafford. 15 touchdowns, 2 picks in cold weather games under freezing. Come on, man. He gonna be all right. He gonna be all right. It makes a lot of sense that the Ram line is kicking up. What I do like, though, I do like the total output over on both these teams. I think this is a high scoring game. I think you see the Rams get the 30 points. Chicago probably throw to keep up. The Rams do give up a lot of points, so it could be like, you know, 33, 24, or, even 30, close game, 30-27. But I think the Rams get this win. I don't think the Colts going to bother them. They went to the NFC Championship last year in Philly in the snow. I don't think the Colts going to bother them at all. I think they'll be fine. If anything, the travel will be bad, but they get an extra day to play on Sunday with a late schedule time. So it'll be almost like a 1 o'clock, or, yeah, 1 o'clock game for them. So I think they'll be fine. This line makes a lot of sense of why it's going up. So I like the total output on this game. Give me the over there. I don't have any player individual moves here. I don't know if Rome Aduze is even going to play. I know he was limited this week. I know he had some issues even practicing on Thursday. I believe they gave him a day off. So he's a true game time decision from what it looks like. Trying to think who else. I don't think anything else of note. Let me just see how many touchdowns is Chicago giving up the team to, you know, different, what they give up to Love. They gave up 4 touchdowns to Love. They gave up 1 touchdown to Goff. They gave up 3 touchdowns and 300 yards to Brock Purdy. And maybe giving up that chicken. They gave up only 120. They gave up total 198 to Willis and Love. Shador had 176. Damn, they played the Packers 3 times. Love had 234 and 3 touchdowns. We'll stop at the birds. Even Jalen Hurts had 230 yards. I think Puka goes off again here. Just does. Yeah, I would play with some of these offensive numbers here. For example, you know, Stafford's at 270. He's at 3 touchdowns. I think he throws for 3 touchdowns, to be honest. It would make a lot of sense. I like him first half too, right? Chicago's had a hard time in the first half. First half Rams make a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Just because they've been a second half team this whole time. I mean, they were down 21-3 to Green Bay. They were down 13-0 to Detroit. They were down 28-21 to San Fran. They were down 6-0 to Green Bay again. They were probably up on Cleveland. They were up 14-0 on Cleveland. They were down 14-3 to Green Bay. Eagles. They were up in the Eagles 10-3. Yeah, so when you look at that, going back all the way to the Eagles, the month of December and the last two games, January 4th and 10th, they've lost the first half 1 out of 5 times. I'm sorry, 5 out of 6 times. The other team first half is 5-1. Even against the Steelers, I bet they were down. They were no. Yeah, they were down against the Steelers too. 20, yeah. Yeah. First half too. First half Rams is the move here. Move. Biggest plays of the week. First half Rams in New England. I think are monster plays. Monster plays to pick. All right. Those are the picks of the day for Money Pot Sports and the divisional weekend for NFL. I'm the host. I'm the CEO. They call me Moss Money. Make sure you guys, again, join in to the fun, become a member, go to YouTube, hit the join button. I think the cheapest tier is like $5. Check it out. See all the caveats and all the stuff that you get. And let's have some fun together, man. Again, this is Moss Money. Good luck, everybody. See you later.